It's time for Pod of the Dead. Join us!
Damn it! That party. Party now.
I'm the responsible
Party
mom.
now.
Party now. I command it. Have fun.
Do the partying.
All right.
Let's do this.
All right. Welcome to Pod of the Dead. I am your host, Nicholas, and with me, as always, are the ladies Stephanie and Natasha.
Hello.
Hello.
On today's episode, we are covering the 1988 horror classic, Child's Play. This was our homework for this week. And girls, what is your history with Chucky and this film?
Childhood trauma
Oh, yeah.
that has since been squashed, so that's kind of cool.
Yay!
But yeah, I knew of it as a small child and avoided it at all costs. Here we
Yeah.
are.
I have never seen the original, so this was a first for me. Like, I was kind of hesitating, like maybe I've seen it. I couldn't remember. And then when we watched it last night, I was like, yeah, I really haven't seen this movie. Like, I've seen Bride of Chucky and I've seen other bits and pieces of other movies, but other than him just being out in the world, like he's just a popular character. I had very little to go on. So in terms of like actual plot and all of that. So that was kind of cool. Like actually seeing a movie for the first time that is so like readily available everywhere and everybody knows about him. So that was neat.
Yeah, and like it's kind of interesting. We'll get into it in spoiler territory and whatnot. But the plot of it is like the origin of Chucky is definitely, I imagine, a little more different than you girls thought it was going to be going into it.
Well, I
Because-
kind of knew though. Like I kind of had an idea that
Oh, did
'cause
you?
I think it's been spoiled. Yeah. I mean,
Oh.
it's just so it's out there. It's kind of like, like certain things you just know because it's just talked in the horror community, and that's what this was.
like
so.
that the grass is blue and the sky is green, like that
Yeah,
kind of stuff.
that stuff. Yep, that's exactly it.
I knew it. I fucking
I
knew
know.
it.
Yeah.
All right. So, like I said, this came out in 1988. Hold on. My history with it is I don't remember seeing the original one when I was young. I know I saw it like later on, like when I was in school and stuff, but I think it was the third one was the one that I saw when I was young, and it fucked me up. It came out like maybe 91, 92. And it still follows Andy's character and everything. Like the whole first trilogy is Chucky and Andy, and he's older in that one, so it wasn't so much the creepiness of a doll hunting down a 6-year-old child as much it was just creepy that it was a fucking doll killing people.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I remember it being creepy because it was one of those things that Chucky and Freddy were huge in Freddy was huge in the 80s, but even like the holdover into the 90s and stuff. So like I vividly remember going to like fairs and stuff like that, and there being like posters like in booths that you could win, and it was always of like Chucky and Freddy, and that shit like fucked me up when I was a kid because you like want to go play this thing and there's that motherfucking like doll with like hedge clippers, and it's like I don't want to do this anymore. But then like I remembered like, yeah, Bride of Chucky came out, fucking love that movie. Like I've got my original VHS of that. Wesley loves the Chucky films, and because of him, I think I've seen every single one of the 7 movies. I think it's the only franchise that has like more than 3 films that I've seen every one of them.
Yeah.
Trying to think. I'm not going to hold.
You've seen all the Scream movies, probably.
I haven't. I have not.
Oh, okay.
I have not seen 5. I think it is. 5 is the only one. That's Sydney's favorite, and I just haven't seen it. So it'll happen this year. I've seen quite a few of them. The third one I didn't care for. The fourth one I hated. So I just didn't bother until the 6th one came out, and Sydney was like, "We're going to go see it." So I was just like, "All right, we'll go see Scream 6," and it was all right. But yeah, so this came out in 1988. A lot of people consider this like one of the greatest years of horror. But when it comes to slashers, if you're a slasher fan, it definitely is like up there, because in 1988 you got Fright. Now, mind you, okay, I just want to throw this out there before we really get into this. 1988. All right. Friday the 13th. First one came out in 1980. All right. 1988, Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood comes out.
God.
Yeah, they
So they came out every year.
basically,
Or almost, yeah.
Wow.
yeah. So the reason like Jason Voorhees and the fucking 80s are kind of like tied together is because you could not escape him in the film or out of the film. He was fucking everywhere. Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, The Dream Master came out. Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. Pumpkinhead, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, Hellraiser 2, and Night of the Demons. And that's just like kind of touching on some of it. There's a fuck ton, like the Blob remake, all this stuff out that year. So like 88 was like in some people's eyes, like a golden year of horror.
Okay.
And then our buddy Chucky came out this year too. So like that franchise starts here. But so in 1988, what do you think this budget was for a slasher?
Oh my God. In 1988 with what they had, because like realistically this movie it has some, but it doesn't have a lot. It's mostly practical effects. So
I would be remiss to say that it's all practical effects.
I would say
except the lightning.
Storm. Yeah.
The lightning.
Yeah, that stuff. But like everything else, yeah, I would say it's mostly practical effects, which is cool. Especially like the rubber hands and stuff. That was neat. I'm gonna go low. I'm gonna go like 4.5.
4.5 million. All right, Tasha. Work through it.
7 million.
7 million. So, my research showed like this is very rare. I don't see this very often. It was like from this number to this number. So like its budget was like disputed, I guess. So we're just gonna take the average between the two. We're gonna say it was $11 million.
Oh
wow,
that's expensive as fuck. Okay,
You gotta understand the animatronics, especially in '88, the amount of animatronics and how well they were done in this film. That shit can't be cheap. Like I can only imagine. So.
It's still weird to me that we watch some movies that are like, even when they have practical effects and they're like really fucking cheap to make. And then you get movies like this. And I know this is a bigger budget film. I get that. But like, because it's like an MGM movie or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, so obviously they have a bigger budget behind it. But like, that's still like a huge difference in money. It's insane.
Well, like, I mean, wasn't Buffy made for 7 million?
Yeah, I know.
Let's bring it back to Buffy.
That's our frame of reference.
I know, every time. I know. But then you think of like The Void, and then you think of other movies that have really cool like special effects, and like they're not even in the same wheelhouse in terms of like their actual overall budget. So it's just crazy to me what you can do with so little and then so much.
Well, there's also a difference between a passion project, if you're going to use The Void, where that's a film that was basically like crowdfunded and everything. And then this is a studio film.
Yeah.
So a lot of that budget was just personal loss of like man hours and stuff like that, where, you know, Child's Play, they're not going to do that. It's like, this is your money, make the fucking film, get it out. We want it out this time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So,
Okay. So what did it make?
I don't know. You tell me.
Great.
You said it was okay. I'm going to say 37 million.
All right.
Okay.
Tasha just fucking went through something over there. I think she just downshifted.
She's like, I fucking hate having to guess. We suck at this shit.
This is so hard, and yet it's just an arbitrary number. Yet I can never settle on one.
Whoa,
No.
It's like there's
They made $1.
it's like there's some logic behind it, but there never is.
I know.
What did you say, Seth?
I said 37.
37. I'm gonna say 56 million.
Okay.
You girls are definitely like getting it around there. $44.2 million.
Okay, so we're in the middle. Okay, that's cool.
You girls are you guys are getting really good at closing the net in on people.
Yeah, so 40. So if 4 times its budget, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it did well enough that like 2 years later is when the sequel comes out. So
Okay.
they like I said, they ended up making 7 movies and they now have a television series. So Chucky is definitely a beloved character. And I
Why?
think
But why is he so beloved? Is it just because he's weird and he's a doll?
I think.
I mean, it's like the iconic
I think
piece of
Chucky.
that.
I don't think it's so much that. I think Chucky lives and dies the same way that Freddy does. It's funny that I mentioned that because Chucky being played by Brad Dourif the entire time, that like sarcasm and his attitude and stuff, especially as the films go on, like once you hit Bride of Chucky, it's definitely more into comedy territory and stuff, but just that sarcastic, like one-liner stuff and everything, I think that has a lot more to say about it other than just a killer doll, because the Chucky franchise has so much more love for it than, say, the Puppet Master, which Puppet Master has fucking more movies than that. Puppet Master's got probably like 10 movies. But
did that also come out in the 80s?
Yeah. I want to actually say that the first Puppet Master, I want to say predates this, but they're completely...
I think it was like 84, 85.
Yeah, they are completely different, like in the sense of like their origins and stuff like that. So
no, I was just thinking, like, we have Jason, we have Freddy, we have Chucky, all of these, they're like still in horror, like in the horror zeitgeist now. So I was wondering if it's just something about the mid 80s, like slashers that just span the test of time. The big
thing about it is, so I think it's 1978 is when the first Halloween film comes out. So you get Michael Myers. That's our first American like masked slasher
and that's before Leatherface.
No, but Leatherface isn't like viewed as a slasher because it's an entire family.
Oh, okay.
You know, you've got the Sawyer family and everything. Okay. So I mean, like, he is definitely a horror icon. Like, but
they just rope him into the same fucking lineup with all of the other people.
Yeah, I mean, it's a definite horror, like, you put him on the Mount Rushmore of horror characters.
Yeah, but it's always with the slashers.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, I mean, you could classify him as that, but I mean, Leatherface isn't the only thing in that movie.
Yeah, but like Ghostface is another one they put on that pedestal.
That's a slasher. That's a slasher.
And so like when I think of like slashers, those, and then obviously occasionally they'll add like Sam to the list. Well, you'll see him hanging out with them sometimes, but it's not usually. It's usually Ghostface, Leatherface, well, who else? Jason, Freddy.
They'll also
Chucky.
throw Pinhead in on that.
Oh, that's the one. Yeah, and that's not a slasher.
Not a slasher, you know.
Oh, okay. That's true.
But yeah, it's just horror icons. But like, Halloween comes out, and then like a couple years later, you get Friday the 13th, and then they're pumping those out every fucking year. And then New Line Cinema's like, we gotta fucking make a film, so they bring out Nightmare on Elm Street. And the big thing is, in the early 80s, the MPAA didn't have like the parents didn't freak out quite yet, so they were able to be super violent and everything. Then the MPAA comes in, they fucking shut down a lot of the gore and everything. So that's where, you know, Freddy Krueger starts to shine, because it's a lot more about the character. The kills are cool, but the character, like Robert Englund, just exudes like charisma and everything. And it's the same thing with Chucky. You know, Chucky comes onto the scene. Granted, the first film, he doesn't really start talking or anything until about 40,
halfway.
Yeah, it's like halfway, 45 minutes into the film.
Yeah.
But it sticks with you. It's almost like Beetlejuice, which came out the same year. Beetlejuice is only on screen like 12 minutes, I think it is, in that entire film. Wow. But Michael Keaton's fucking like charisma, his character work and all that stuff just sticks with you. And it's the same thing, like Brad Dourif's voice and the animatronic work in this. Like the first time that, I'm not going to spoil anything, but like when he reveals himself to somebody, you know, like just how chaotic that scene is and everything. It's just really like, oh shit, this is a lot more than I thought you would get, especially in 88 with just a rubber doll and someone doing some voiceover work.
Yeah.
But yeah, so a little bit to, since we've covered 1988 a bit and stuff, I'd like to kind of give you guys a little bit on the actors from this film and like what else you may know them from. So Andy, the little boy in this film, is played by Alex Vincent, and he plays in the first two films, and then he ends up reprising his role in the 6th and 7th film.
Okay.
And he ends up playing himself in 9 episodes of the TV show. That's kind of like his basic claim to fame. Is he plays Andy.
Plays in Chucky. Okay.
Correct.
Or in Child's Play. Whatever.
Yeah. Well, they become Chucky later on. Like, even the TV show is just called Chucky. So
yeah.
If somebody wants to fucking cred check you on that, you can just punch him right in the Adam's apple, because you know it's going to be a guy that does it. It's like, name three songs, then you just fucking chop him right in the throat. Karen, the mother, she's played by Catherine Hicks. And she was in the movie Turbulence, and she was also the mother in Seventh Heaven for 11 years.
Oh, all right.
Then you got Chucky, played by Brad Dourif. He's been in every single Chucky film except for the remake. We do not talk about that film. He also plays Grima Wormtongue in The Lord of the Rings.
Yep.
He's Sheriff Lee Brackett in the Rob Zombie Halloween 1 and 2. He plays He plays Doc Cochran in Deadwood for 36 episodes.
Oh, dang. Wow.
The David Lynch Dune movie that was out in the I think it was like 84. He plays Piter, who is the Baron's mentat. He's also, do you girls remember the movie Urban Legends?
Yeah.
You remember the guy that runs up to the car and he's stuttering and she thinks it's a killer and he's like, "There's someone in your car." That's him. He's the gas station attendant in that.
All right.
Then you've got Mike, the cop, played by Chris Sarandon. I may be mispronouncing that, but he was in Guiding Light for 4 years.
Of course he was. He kind of looks like somebody that would play in something like that. Okay.
He plays Jerry Danbridge in Fright Night, so the main vampire in the original Fright Night.
Okay.
He's Prince Humperdinck in The Princess Bride.
That's a name.
And
okay.
Have you guys ever heard of a little movie called Nightmare Before Christmas?
Yes.
He's the voice of Jack Skellington.
Holy shit.
Really?
Not the singing voice.
Just the regular voice. Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay. That's really cool.
And then Don Mancini, he's Mr. Chucky. He's the guy that wrote the films and stuff. He's written every Chucky film and the TV show, excluding the remake. He also wrote an episode of Channel Zero and an episode of Tales from the Crypt and the movie Cellar Dweller, which was under a different name. And he then also went on to direct the 5th, 6th, and 7th installment of the Chucky franchise.
Okay.
Cool. So he's just Chucky's his thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Literally, like him and Alex Vincent, the boy who plays Andy. That's it. Like, we do Chucky.
Yeah.
So I know we're not supposed to talk about the remake, but I'm going to talk about the remake.
Go ahead.
If he didn't write it, how did whoever wrote it get the rights to do so?
MGM must own the rights or something to that extent. Okay. I don't know the logistics of it, but he probably got a writing credit because it's based on characters that he wrote, but he didn't write it.
Okay. That's crazy.
So, let's see here. 1988. We kind of went over a little bit, but we'll give you a little bit of an overview of, what happened this year in movies. The big ones for that year were, you got Beetlejuice, Cocktail, Die Hard.
Oh, yeah, we already went over all these because we did watch Killer Clowns. That's right. Okay.
Yep. Crocodile Dundee 2. Top one was Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Was the
I remember that. Yeah. That movie's really good, so that makes sense.
Yep. So, unless you girls have anything else to talk about, I think we need to start getting into spoiler territory.
I agree.
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's talk about some Chucky.
All right. Pod of the Dead is a movie club. So, if this is your first episode, hello, welcome. We go over a movie every week. And after the spoiler territory, we go kind of deep diving, talking about the movie, like in an open forum discussion. If you have seen Child's Play, stick around. If you haven't, it is viewable on Tubi, and you can rent it, and it's probably in a lot of bargain bins at Walmart and stuff like that.
You could probably buy like a multiple pack
Oh,
of
yeah.
the movies at Walmart for $10 or something. Yeah.
I know the 7 movie bundle's like $30 on Amazon because I used to own it, but I was contemplating buying it specifically for the podcast. But then when I found out it was on Tubi, I was like, I'll just watch it on there.
Yeah, it actually wasn't that bad. Like there was like maybe 4 or 5 commercials. It wasn't bad.
Yeah, so it was a lot better than I expected in that sense. But if you haven't watched Child's Play, check it out. But if you want to continue listening on to find out what our homework is, check back in the last like 10-15 minutes of the episode, and that's when we'll be giving out homework for next week's episode.
Yep.
So without any further ado, let's unpackage some childhood trauma and talk about Child's Play.
Yay.
So if you want to be a part of our club, you can find us at facebook.com/podofthedead or else on Instagram at pod_of_the_dead or on TikTok at podofthedead. If you want to email us any questions, any complaints, or movie recommendations, you can email us at podofthedead666@gmail.com.
All right.
Okay.
Spoiler warning. Let's hear that 10 out of 10 review for Child's Play.
That Tasha is 100% going to agree with because she thinks this is now the greatest horror movie.
Maybe.
No.
Whoa.
Not the case.
No,
Okay.
Not the greatest?
So these are not my words. Just
Okay.
always remember that.
Yes, we remember.
Oh, hold on. This was a listener suggested movie. So Brian, frequent listener, I believe he's been with us since episode 1. This was a movie that he wanted us to cover because he said, I remember loving this movie when I was young, so much so that we had a worn out copy of the VHS that
that's cute.
he just watched into the ground. So he wanted us to do this.
That's awesome.
So thank you, Brian, for your suggestion.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks,
Thank
man.
you.
Okay. Holy crap. I really don't care what anyone says about this movie. I am a horror movie fanatic, and I first saw this film at the age of 7. Out of all the horror movies I've ever seen, Child's Play, the first one to me is the scariest movie I've ever seen. A creepy looking doll, a creepy voice, eerie music, because it's not even music. It's like chimes and a combination of creepy sounds, suspense, and of course, barely any comedy. Just
Debatable.
just pure horror. Out of all of the horror movies I've seen, the scariest movie would have to be the following: Child's Play, Pet Sematary, and so on.
This person definitely has a thing with kids and horror.
Yeah, The Exorcist.
Yep.
The Others.
They are afraid of kids. Or afraid for kids.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So if you want to be creeped out, go home, turn off the lights, put on the TV loud, and watch it by yourself. It's a scary movie. Well, at least it is to me. I'm not scared of movies now at the age of 25, but it is the only one that no matter how many times I watch it, it still creeps me out.
So this one definitely digs up trauma on this person.
Yeah. And he loves it though. That's the difference. It's like, oh, give me some more of that trauma.
Good.
So Tasha, for you, this helped you work through trauma.
It did. Yeah. I was giggling through the majority of it and being like, why is this happening? There was a lot of that. So
I love this film for those reasons. Like I don't look at this movie as scary. It was scary when I was a kid, but now now you can see the outlandishness of the film. So
that's true.
Yeah, it's not made for 7-year-olds. It's made for people our age.
Well,
so
I
it's
mean,
nice to watch it now.
As a horror film, you should show this to Wyatt. Like realistically, like, oh yeah,
No.
like,
No.
he's like, fuck you, bitch, I'm gonna kill you.
The fireplace scene is the best scene in the whole movie.
I love it. Like pre him burning when he's just smashing up
he's
against
just like, like that's my favorite scene in the movie.
You can literally tell almost that like he's attached to the fence and there's just
and they're just
stick on his
shaking the
back.
shit out of it. Yeah, I fucking love that. That's the best scene. It's ridiculous.
I was getting Reanimator vibes when she was getting attacked by him.
Yeah, just like stuck to her.
Reanimator cat vibes.
Yeah.
All right, funny. So let's hear this heresy. Let's hear this 1 out of 10.
1 out of 10. Okay, let's see here. It is bad because I found it so hard to believe this thing was coming to life. Sorry, folks. As comedy, it's wonderful, even though Scary Movie was better. What does that have anything to do with Chucky?
Well, Scary Movie is a parody of
Scream.
Yeah, well, of just horror films in general.
Yeah.
So, like, to even be like, oh, well, it's as a comedy film, it's okay, but okay, go on.
Okay, yeah, I am. Sorry, there's a couple paragraphs here. But call me jaded. Nothing scares me anymore. After a few films, the genre was done for me way back when. The concept of having a doll come to life for evil purposes was used a few times by Rod Serling in the old Twilight Zone series.
True.
What does this movie contribute to the genre of really being afraid, folks? Have we run completely out of new ideas? The only thing that would frighten me is if cheesy movies like this were the only kinds of we could see now. That's horror. Okay.
Sure.
That's horror because that's all we could watch. Whatever. Okay. I wonder if one day they will ever get accomplished writers to contribute to horror flicks. That is, instead of nerdy, overgrown horror fan wannabes. Maybe there is hope, and a real plot will emerge from the hot air. And maybe, just maybe, we can get these villains to have some really interesting motives that are not whatever this word is.
I think he had actually an interesting motive. Personally.
He did. I agree.
Go on.
He says some word that I'm not even going to butcher in trying to pronounce. So we're just going to say he's interested in movies that are not shitty. I'm just going to say that's what he's trying to accomplish here. Maybe Spielberg will want. Nick. Maybe Spielberg will make a really good one day. I can dream, can't I?
No.
See, he wants Spielberg to make horror movies.
I mean, he did. He made Jaws. I'll give him that. So he ruined the beach for everybody.
Yeah.
But God,
unless you're Wyatt, he just roots for the shark.
I think that's what you're supposed to do.
That's what we're supposed to do. Yeah.
The shark is trying to save people from fucking melanoma. Okay, he's just no, you're gonna get sun poisoning.
Get out of the water.
I'm just trying to help you. I have no hands. I only have teeth.
So this guy makes a review because he doesn't like horror movies, and he's shitting on all horror movies because they're not written in a way that brings him joy, which means he should just probably not watch fucking horror movies because, dude, that's not your thing.
Now, here's the thing. That was one of 3 reviews. That was it.
Oh, shit.
Only 3 1-star reviews for this film. So,
okay, that makes sense.
So, like I said,
somebody had to be heard.
Yeah, somebody's got to be a fun sucker.
Yeah.
Not to be
somebody who doesn't like horror movies because they don't scare them.
Yeah.
Okay. They don't really scare me most of the time either.
No, it's just it is what it is. I mean, like, you have to go if you go into this movie a curmudgeon and you're just like, this better do the thing, and it doesn't. Like, I mean, I don't want to hang out with you anyway. Like, if you can't have a good time or something, like, I mean, there are films that suck, but like, I can't imagine somebody seeing this movie and just not seeing a redeeming quality in it.
I agree.
Except for the fact that, like, they're just like, I don't like horror films. It's like, then don't review it. Like, you already have this preconceived notion of what, like, because I'm not going to get on there and start reviewing Hallmark Christmas movies.
No, because Nick fucking hates them, even though I watch them all the time. So
it's fine. You're allowed. You're allowed.
I'm allowed to like what I like. Yeah.
Yep. I'm not here to yuck anybody's yum.
Yeah, and that's just weird to me. It's like, this movie, like, when you're watching a slasher film as a whole, I do not understand, like, the majority of them, what you expect. You're not going to get this, like, really deep developed emotional connection to characters. Like, this isn't an A24 film that is like, you have to follow every little bit and piece in order to understand it. Like, these are kind of popcorny movies in the horror genre. That's what I consider slasher films for the majority of it in this realm.
They tend to follow, like, a color by numbers sense of the tropes and stuff like that. Like, you're going to have your final girl. Andy is our final girl. I mean, I guess you could say Karen is our final girl also. Because, like, realistically, nobody that you end up like actually like connecting with in this film, nobody dies. Like,
No.
it's all like side characters
Right, yeah.
die and stuff like that. Like
Well, didn't we count? There was like 3 body count. Like 3 people died in this movie. Or was
I
it
saw
4?
online it said 6, but I was having a hard
What?
time actually counting the 6. So I'm not gonna. I know like the voodoo guy,
Yeah.
the getaway driver, the doctor,
And those are only-
Maggie, like the babysitter. Those are
oh,
the
the babysitter. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so 4 that I can.
that I can come
recall.
up with. So
Yeah.
it said 6. It was also on IMDb, so who fucking knows?
Yeah. Unless there's like a different version. Like, is there some version that we didn't see
There might.
and there was another kill in it? So maybe
Maybe.
that's a different thing. Because sometimes that happens. Because we watched a different ending to 1408 than
Yeah.
Tasha. So sometimes that happens.
Yeah, that was weird.
I know.
All the
So,
rats in that giant house explosion. Did
Oh,
we
maybe
count
that's-
all
Yeah.
of them?
Yeah, maybe there was just 2
Maybe-
rats in there that we didn't.
yeah,
count.
that's true.
So,
Right.
so Chucky's full name, I should have thrown this at the beginning, but his full name is Charles Lee Ray, as we know.
Yeah.
It's derived from 3 notorious killers. We have Charles Manson,
Manson. Yep.
Lee Harvey Oswald, the assassin
okay.
of JFK,
Yeah.
and James Earl Ray, the assassin of Martin Luther King.
Oh,
So
That's really smart.
That's
Oh.
where the name comes
Iffy.
from, is
That's
they
really
took
smart.
all that stuff.
okay.
Another little tidbit before we start actually like getting into it and stuff. So Catherine Hicks, the lady that plays Karen, the
Mhm.
mom from Seventh Heaven, and Kevin, I
Mhm.
believe it's pronounced Yager. I'm probably butchering it. He's the creator of Chucky. He's the one that made the doll and all that stuff.
Okay.
They met on set and were married a year later. And
Oh,
Oh,
and it's yeah, so love can happen on the
Yeah.
set of a child like getting hunted by a doll movie.
yeah. That's funny. That's cute.
I was just trying to bring some love into this, guys. I knew that
Yeah.
you girls would love it. Girls love love.
Andy
Girls
loved
love.
yeah, and Andy loved Chucky in this
He
movie.
did.
Well, until like towards the end, but he really did love him.
All right,
So-
so I'm gonna set the
Yeah.
stage for this.
Okay.
Okay, girls, what did you think of Andy, played by Alex Vincent, in this film?
Oh,
I did not like his voice.
You didn't like the little boy's voice?
Talk too slowly.
Oh, okay.
I did not like the little boy. Wait, is that who we're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, the little boy.
You said Alex is the little boy, yeah?
Andy,
Andy.
played by
Okay.
Alex
I
Vincent.
did not like him.
Okay. I love him. I thought he is a phenomenal child actor. I loved him so much. He was so cute and endearing, and he seemed so sweet, and I liked him. And every time he was on the screen, I was like, "Oh, poor Andy, I love you so much." I wanted to save him myself. He
I
was
will
so
say
cute.
though, there's one spot towards the end of the movie that I thought he did a really good job when he's with the doctor.
Mhm.
That part broke my heart, but otherwise, I had a really hard time watching him.
Okay. Yeah, it's like usually Nick hates the kids in the movies, but I think Nick might
Mhm.
actually like
Yeah,
this one.
I like Andy in the film. Like I think he does a serviceable job. He acts his age. Like
does.
that's the problem
6.
that we've had in previous movies, like the Silent Hill movie,
Mhm.
The Exorcist. For this, it's like this is a very believable. Like when they're like saying that he's 6 years old, it's like, yep, this about fucking pans out. And then watching him on the fucking subway and stuff, riding around with Chucky, I'm just like, somebody help this kid. Why is he riding the
I know.
subway?
Yeah.
But
No.
so yeah, like we were talking like the kills, you know, like there's like 4 that we can count. It says 6. But like the one that like really sticks out to me is Maggie falling out the window and smashing into that car. I love that.
So ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. That's actually the worst one to me because it's
That's
so
one of my
cheesy.
favorites. I love it because of when she hits that car, it fucking smashes. And I love how they did this. I looked it up and it said, according to director Tom Holland, the shot of Maggie falling to her death was achieved by having a stunt woman do the main shot, followed by a concrete-filled dummy
Oh dang!
Oh my god.
when she hits the car, and then they had
Yeah.
charges underneath the windows to shatter
Okay.
them. So it's literally
That's
just
cool.
like fucking hundreds of pounds of concrete just
Yeah.
Right
crushed
on
that
top of
car.
it. That's awesome.
It was so over the top.
It was.
Which I hope it was supposed to be that way and not like this is what it would look like if someone falls out a window.
Well,
'Cause it's
realistically,
ridiculous.
if you think about all the kills in this movie, they are all very over the top. Like, there's not one that's subtle. You know, like even
Yeah,
like
they're
the house
usually-
blowing up is
that's
fucking
true.
It's
huge.
obscene. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
the witch doctor guy getting all of his limbs shattered, and then Chucky stabbing the voodoo doll, and then what's the other one? The doctor getting
his head thing,
electrocuted and stuff.
Yeah, they are pretty over the top kills. They're not just like your simple like slice your throat and stuff like that. So yeah, they are definitely different. Because like I wasn't even sure how he's gonna end up killing the doctor when we were watching it. Because I was like, okay, so he like stabs him. Is he just gonna bleed to death? And then he throws this fucking electroshock thing on him and fries his ass. And I was like, that's kind of creative in comparison to what I expected. So.
The original idea for Maggie's death was that they were going to just have Chucky push like a radio into the bathtub. And like that kind of thing. They ended up scrapping that and doing what they did, but Don Mancini, right? That's it. Yeah, Mancini held on to that, and that's what they used to kill Tiffany in Bride of Chucky.
Okay.
Well,
I thought it sounded familiar.
Yeah, that's how she dies, and then he puts her into a female doll and all that stuff. And, we'll have to cover that one sometime. We're not going to go.
Oh, God.
I love that movie. That movie is so
I actually
fucking
really
funny.
do want to watch it. Yeah, I really
don't like any of them.
There is a fucking doll sex scene in that movie, and she's like, "Do you have a rubber?" He's like, "Baby, I'm made of rubber."
I know.
It's so good.
It's so cheesy, but it's great. Yeah. It's been. Yeah, it was. Yeah. I liked the movie. I mean, I didn't love it. It was okay. It is kind of slow in the beginning. I didn't expect that. Like, I guess I should have because it's the 80s. But like, you really don't. Like, I expected Chucky to be sharing with us like his character a lot sooner, and like he doesn't. Like, you are literally halfway through the movie before, because they're setting up this whole plot beforehand and like slowly working you into like getting introduced to him. And then after he's been introduced, it's still slow moving. Like, you'll get a little bit of him, and then it just keeps progressing. But the thing I noticed about this movie, like we've had with a couple other movies, like I think Infinity Pool kind of did this for me, where it was like, it just made you, or High Tension, it's like the sound in it just makes you feel like uncomfortable the whole time. And like, you're just waiting for the next thing to happen, but not in like, I'm going to jump scare, but like just, it just feels eerie. And like, that's what I felt when I was watching the movie. Cause like I said, I haven't seen it. So it was like, this is interesting, but yeah, it was slower than I would have liked, but I feel that way about most 80s horror movies.
I think they did a really good job of like building tension, because like it is very uncomfortable. Anytime that you see Andy like off on his own and stuff, you're like, oh God, what the fuck's, because I think Steph even asked like early on, it's like, is he gonna kill the child? And I just kept my mouth shut. I was like,
because I didn't know anything. Yeah,
I don't want to say anything. I don't want to tell you how anything goes down, But yeah, like the film definitely is slower. I think that it's one of those weird things. Like, obviously, you want people to come to the theater, so you got to show your killer and stuff. So like, Chucky's on the poster with the big fucking knife and all that jazz. So you know that. But if there was some way. I think there's one that I think there's a poster of it where it's just like the apartment complex with like the lightning and everything behind it. If that was the actual theatrical poster, I think that works really well with the movie, because there's so much at the very beginning that you are thinking like, fuck, is it Andy? Granted, we go into it now knowing it's Chucky and everything. Yeah. But they definitely set up that thing of like, is this just a fucking crazy kid that's killing people and everything? Like, you don't know. They definitely set up that swerve, as it were.
Yeah, I liked it because like Andy is dressed like him, so like they dress him similarly because he's into the good guys or whatever it's called. Yeah, and like they wear the same clothes. They're also the same size relatively, so I really liked that component of it. I thought that was really smartly put together, like especially with like the footprints on the countertops, and he's wearing the same kind of like bottoms on his pajamas. I thought that was really cute. So like it made more sense. Like they really did as a whole for this being like, as it's pretty cheesy in a lot of ways. Yeah. Being a like, it was really thought out, those parts. I think even with like the voodoo doll, like how are you going to kill this dude? And like he's like, we're just going to make it make sense this way. And yes, it's cheesy, but at the same time, it does fit into the storyline, however fucked up way it does.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I forgot, like, not this time, but like, it'd been a long time since I'd seen it. And I forgot, like, I knew that, like, oh, Charles Lee Ray puts his soul into the body and everything. But I forgot, like, how much of it was, like, actually, like, this voodoo ritual thing about this god and everything, like, that they kind of worked to it. And, like, that's what he's doing. The longer he's in this body, the more he's becoming human because he got shot. That fucking hurt. He's pissed about it.
Yeah.
And I love that. Like, that's what makes me really like this film is like when he's being Brad Dourif as Chucky, where he's just like, hey, look at me, like all this kind of stuff, because he's not acting like a doll. It's like a person trapped in a doll.
He's a serial killer trapped in a doll that's enacting revenge, and then just being a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
And like I love, and I don't know why I like it, and maybe because I really like puppeteering and animatronics, but because that stuff just really hits for me. But like watching this and like the way his face moves and stuff when he's talking, I just love that, and I don't know why. I don't even care about the plot. I was just like, let him talk to me. He's fucking ridiculous. And like I love when they show the hands, because they do that a lot in this, where they're showing him like grabbing a door, grabbing a knife, opening this, doing certain things. It's just his little rubber fucking fingers. And I'm just like, this is so clever. Cause like, you have to understand, like, they have to make sure this works and like it looks realistic, but because they can't every single time make him do everything as an animatronic, because I can't imagine how much time that would take. And so like when he's burning, I'm pretty sure that's a little person.
Yes. Yeah, because there's multiple times in this film that it's actually like anytime you actually see him like running and stuff, it's either a child, and I can't remember who it is. I want to say it's the daughter of Kevin, the guy that created it. It's someone's daughter. I can't remember who it is.
Okay.
In a costume, or it's a little person. Like when it comes to like the burning scene, or like running, jumping up on stuff. It's just a little person with the mask. There are scenes that, like, if you know that and you're watching it, you're like, I can see that that's a mask, but it's a really good one.
Yeah.
I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah.
I could tell with the burning scene.
Yeah. But yeah, I fucking like this movie. It's not that I'm like the world's biggest Chucky fan or anything, but every time I watch a Chucky film and I hear Brad Dourif's fucking voice coming out of it, I'm like, God, I fucking love these movies.
I know.
It's not because of the plot. It's just him. Like, it's no different. Realistically, it's no different for me than watching the Nightmare on Elm Street films. Are all those movies good? God, no, not all of them. There's a few really good ones, but like, what does it? Robert Englund being on camera, fucking being Freddy. Like, it just his fucking snide comments and the way he acts and everything just does it. I don't give a shit about the kids. Kill all those fuckers. I don't give a shit. Same with like Chucky, you know, like fucking kill Andy, move on, kill somebody else.
I like Andy. Leave Andy alone.
Kill Busta Rhymes, or who, I think it was Redman. Redman, I think, was in Bride of Chucky. Like, kill him, fucking all these guys. Like, just kill them all. I don't fucking care. Just give me him running amok. I'm good on that. Like, but
yeah, it's just funny to watch. It's just it's a high level of ridiculousness because he's like a doll. But I like I said, it's something about his face. I just find it so comical and fucking ridiculous. It's just and it's not scary in any capacity. It's just ridiculous, and I'm just here for
that
it.
Face, it hits me right in the heart.
Not in that way.
That fucking crazy ass red hair. Those those fucking bibs. Oh, bibs. That really does it for me. Bibs and tentacles.
Yeah, that's
there's
bibs and tentacles.
There's a name for your new books.
Yeah. Bibs and tentacles. Yeah, I'm sure there's one out there already like that. So.
Yeah, who knows? And if there isn't, you could be the first one to do it.
Yeah, that would be nice.
But
okay, yeah. I mean, there isn't a whole lot to say about this movie besides it's Chucky. So
yeah, the animatronics are fucking great.
They are. Like, it's entertaining.
Like high. I don't want to get into review territory with what I was about to say. So, I'm trying to think of anything else really. There's a reason that it has its following and its fans. Like, you can go. I don't know anybody adult wise that loves these films because they're scary.
Yeah, they're not scary.
I think most people love them for the reason like that I like them. Like Brad Dourif as Chucky, and then later on, her name's escaping me, but the lady that plays Tiffany, they're fucking great. Like their chemistry and all that stuff just works really well. The outlandishness, the more it goes in, the more they lean into it. So just good all around.
Yeah.
But you girls want to get into review territory?
Yep.
All right.
Sure.
Go for it, Tasha, since we know you watched this today.
I did. I watched it just a couple hours ago.
Yes.
I stayed awake for the whole thing.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's
Also,
good.
Because it's
Give
amazing.
me praise for that.
Yeah, that's
Give
awesome.
me praise.
That's better than Silent Hill, so that's good.
Right. Right. Very quickly shut it off.
Yeah.
I don't know. This movie, it didn't. I don't have any desire to watch any more of them.
Okay.
I had, I'm glad that I rewatched it as an adult. There were just, and I don't know. I think it might be because I don't have that like familiarity from childhood like Nick does. I haven't watched all of them. I've seen The Bride of Chucky. It's just not my style of movie.
I get you.
Really at all. And there were so many points where I kind of felt like you, Steph, where I just kept going, why is this happening this way? Or like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, so I like the detective was terrible because one part that sticks out. He was a terrible. No, the acting was good.
Yes.
But he was terrible as a detective.
I don't know.
One part, hold up. One part glaringly sticks out at me because I remember him saying like, oh yeah, I've been to Charles Ray. What's his name?
Charles Lee Ray. Been to Charles Lee Ray's apartment and there's nothing there. And you walk into the fucking apartment and every wall is covered in murals. Like you could have taken a lot from that. So that's one part that I really didn't like. Also, his driving skills are terrible. Why can't you put your foot on the brake when you can put your foot on the gas? The brake pedal gets
he took the brake pedal off.
Yeah, Chucky takes like the actual pad of the pedal off because he's trying to push on it and it's just the arm.
Before that, his foot like just goes straight to the gas.
Yeah, because he's like
stuff like that,
trying to get away from the thing in the back seat,
trying to stab him in the balls.
Right.
That was so funny. Oh my god,
that scene is so ridiculous. So it's one of those things. There is no way that scene is not made for gags. Like that.
Oh my god,
it
is so funny.
Gotta be.
Because at that point, like let off the gas, fucking throw that bitch right into park. And get the fuck out of there. No, we're gonna
gun it.
Yeah, we're gonna gun it down this New York fucking alleyway and fucking smash into everything. And we're like half a second away from being like, whoa.
I know.
Yeah. And that's exactly that sound you made was the sound I describe Maggie falling out of the window. She gets hit in the head, and instead of just like falling over like she's passed out, it's a out the window.
That was dumb.
Just dives out the window. Just dives.
Right.
Maybe 20 stories will save me. I got hit with a toy hammer. Because it's not even a real hammer. It's the toy hammer that Andy was using that he got for his birthday.
Yeah.
I love it.
Which is perfect size for Chucky.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's really... It was just a lot of like, this doesn't make sense, or why is this happening? Just, I mean, quintessential 80s movie, I should expect.
Yeah, true.
But as far as my like for this movie goes, I'm sorry, guys. I'm giving it... I'm going to give it a 4.5.
Boo!
Okay.
Boo!
That's better than I expected.
You should feel bad. Boo! I'm yucking your yum, boo.
No, I think I'm yucking your guys' yum.
No, it's fine.
No, see, the movie didn't hit for me like that. So
there is no universe that I watch this as like fucking Hall of Fame for Tasha.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
there is not a fucking world that exists.
No, it just doesn't.
No, it's just watching it, and just for me, it was just like, what else is fucking crazy gonna happen next? And like I said, the pinnacle of it for me was like, we get to the end, and then fucking Chucky is like stuck behind this grate by the fireplace, and he's just beating the shit out of it, trying to get out, and I'm just laughing hysterically. Like the whole movie was just like, even him like standing on the countertop talking to the voodoo man or whatever when he gets into his apartment, that was just hilarious to me, and I was just like, his face when it moves is just so comical, and I love it, and in its own fucking cheesy ass stupid way, because everything is way over the top, and I just really liked that about it. But I agree, it's not like this isn't like a great movie.
It's a good time though. It's a good time.
It is. I mean,
fair.
if you can get past the first 20 minutes, because realistically, like the first 20 minutes of this movie is boring as fuck. Yeah. Like I was just like, are we going to get to something now? Are we going to get there? Are we going to get there? Because like they had no reason. Realistically, she could have just bought the doll from the fucking store and we could have cut out that entire scene.
It was $100. We're trying to explain that, you know, this is a hardworking mom that's trying to do well for her son, you know.
But what's the purpose?
And she couldn't have bought it from the store because the grifter got it from like the pile of trash after the thing exploded.
But he could have hidden in something else, or it could have randomly showed up. Like it was just weird to me that like she had a box shaped as it, but it only had pants in it. Like
I didn't like that. That was cheap. That was rude.
It almost felt like, you know, he was excited for something that he wasn't getting, you know, stuff like that. Like I felt like that was unnecessary. I know it was for the viewership of like us anticipating what it is, but I just didn't like that. But yeah, I'm just gonna say that I liked the movie more than I thought. It wasn't great. It's not a great movie, guys. It's really not.
It's not. No.
It's not. But it's entertaining enough for me. For it being like an hour and a half, I think it could have been an hour and 10 minutes and it would have been fine. Like realistically, because it was just, you got enough of him.
Or
like
cut out some of the beginning and give us like another character to kill off and stuff. Give us some more Chucky, you know, like realistically, like if we're gonna do that, like because it's like I said, 45 minutes I think until he starts being Chucky.
Yeah.
You cut that down to 20 minutes. Give us another 20 minutes in the film of him running amok, causing problems. I'm there for that.
Yeah, me
that's
too.
why there are 6 other ones.
And a television series.
That's true. Like I said, I'm gonna give this movie a 5.5. I felt like it was something I would watch again, like if I wanted to, but I can't think like I could give it more than that because it's not great. Okay, it's just not.
I do have a question though. If that beginning part were tightened up and everything, and they did kind of like what I said, would it be a higher score?
Maybe.
Is it that beginning part just like it's kind of
because it lulls a lot. And like it's kind of your argument is the same argument as mine when it comes to monster movies. It's like we're not here to fall in love with the humans. We're here for the fucking monsters. Show me the fucking monsters. And so like the same thing here is to be said about Chucky. I want to see his reaction and his interactions with people. I don't care about, I mean, as much as we're supposed to be building this relationship with his mom, I only cared about the Andy parts. I did not care about the mom parts.
So that being said, I think you'll like the sequels more then because we've already got that. Now it's just
out of the way.
Fucking causing problems.
Yeah, I would be willing to watch most of them. I think I've already seen Bride of Chucky. It's been a really long time. I really liked that movie when I watched it originally. It's really funny. Like I said, something about the way Chucky's face moves. I can't fucking explain it. It's ridiculous.
Something about that face and those bibs.
I know. I can't help it. I don't know what it is, but
what you got in them bibs, boy?
Well, what's weird is maybe because remember the guy that was just like talking about like how he likes kids in horror movies. Maybe like Sam is my favorite horror character, and I'm wondering if there's something about like the innocence, portrayed innocence but not innocent concept of it that is like more endearing. I don't know.
You like them cute, short, and murderous. That's what you like.
I mean, but
you like a little man with a knife. That's what it comes down to.
Probably. I mean, it kind of does. Like it does. I know. I don't know.
What's your stance on the Leprechaun films?
I haven't seen them.
Oh,
but they're not cute. They're not cute though. It's not cute. Oh, no, but like that's why I want to see the
Leprechaun in the Hood.
Well, that's why I want to see the Critters films because I'm
Critters
like,
are so fucking good.
Yeah, they're cute, and like I have a thing for little cute things. Like I like the little worm in the labyrinth, and like I love little like that stuff's my jam. And so like that's why Sam works for me really well in like Trick or Treat because he's not really like acts like a murderish kind of character. I mean, he does kill people. Don't get me wrong, but like he's just being Sam.
Yeah. So he's Samhain. He's the fucking defender of Halloween.
Yeah, so like he's not out there intentionally brutalizing and killing people. And technically Chucky really isn't in this movie either. He's just enacting his revenge. Yeah. I mean, and then
prior to him becoming a doll, he was a strangling serial killer.
I mean, I mean that's true. But
guess.
but like he's trying to get back at those people, and like I liked the car scene in that too. I thought that was fucking hilarious. I did not like. Obviously, it's not even feasible. You can't shove a knife through the bottom of a fucking car seat like that. Like
maybe
that.
In 1988, you can.
maybe, but like through all the springs and stuff, it's not feasible, but like it's still funny. So,
so you said you gave it a 5.5?
I'm gonna give it a 5.5. I would probably give it a 6 if it didn't have 20 minutes of just crap.
That's fair.
So, yeah.
I'm gonna make mine kind of short and sweet because I've kind of talked about it. I love the animatronics in this fucking movie.
It's good.
All the kills are so over the top. They make me laugh. Like, I don't think there's a single one that doesn't make me like chuckle for either how outlandish it is or usually how outlandish it is. Fucking Brad Dourif. God damn it. Like, I forgot how, like, this is the first time I've watched a Chucky film in a while. Like, I haven't watched any of them. Like, it was probably right around when you and I got together, Steph, when
we were watching the Chucky TV show.
The Chucky TV series. That was the last time I think I'd watched anything of him.
Yeah.
It was like that little bit of time there. So it had been a long time. So like to get Brad Dourif being fucking just an asshole, like, I'm gonna fucking kill you, bitch. Like all that. And if you get a chance to watch that scene with the Spanish dub, it's so much funnier. Like if you think that's ridiculous, like there was a clip of it like making the rounds on the internet and stuff, and it's so fucking funny because his voice is so much lower in the Spanish dub. He's like, like just so fucking just like it's great. Anyway, all that being said, I'm going to actually give this movie 0.5 points extra for the trauma it caused Tasha.
Oh, okay. But she's healed now, so that's good.
Yeah.
Good for her. Good for her.
Yeah.
No, I'm not giving anything extra for that. But that, I think I think that's funny that like you worked through it. You worked through your trauma. This is a therapy session for you.
Yeah.
I faced it head on.
Yeah.
That's right.
But specifically, like for Brad Dourif, he definitely gives it a much. I give it like 0.5 extra because of him and everything. I'm giving it a 6.5.
Okay.
Like I really if that beginning part was tightened up and everything, because I 100% agree with that. I understand that you need to see the relationship that Andy makes with him and everything, because that does make it a lot more impactful and stuff. It makes it sadder, it makes it scarier if it needs to be, if it plays that way for you or whatever. But yeah, if that was tightened up, I could see myself giving this a 7. Like if that were tightened up and we got some more Chucky in the end.
Yeah.
But I feel very comfortable giving this 6.5 because I know where it goes, and I know that I like, Bride of Chucky. Like I would definitely give that a higher score than that. So, because that's my favorite of the series. But yeah, I give it a 6.5.
Okay. That's fair. I think that makes us have a passing grade. What is it?
Just barely.
Okay.
It gives us a 55.
Okay. See?
Yeah. You will more than likely like this film.
Probably.
I think more than likely, if you know what you're getting in for, it's like I have a hard time. Somebody's like, so what's the movie about? It's like, well, it's about this doll that goes around killing people. If you're going to watch this movie and just like arms crossed, be like, about it, you're already going into it not expecting to like it.
But here's the thing. I don't even think you need to give anybody an idea of what this movie is. If you say Child's Play, they're going to know, oh, it's Chucky.
Yep.
You already have that.
I'm talking about like even from the time that it came out, or if you're just not aware of Chucky, anything. It's just like, this is what the movie is about. And then play ball. It's kind of like when they're saying like Killer Clowns from Outer Space. It is what it is. It's in the fucking title. If you're not into it from there, you're not going to be into it.
I mean, and that movie was really fucking outlandish too. Like realistically, like it was crazy. I mean, that one was a little bit more creative realistically, like because it's Killer Clowns from Outer Space, and that was just fucking batshit crazy. But I would say to me, the way they're made, I mean, they came out the same year. I would say like the feel of them is similar in that way. Like they have like a specific, I think it's just the time period.
Realistically, if it wasn't the language in this, I would definitely suggest you to show it to Wyatt, right? Because like even the kills in this film, outside of the voodoo doctor, they're like there's not a lot.
Mild.
They're pretty mild in comparison to a lot of stuff.
True.
But yeah, it's just the fuck you, bitch, I'm gonna fucking kill you kind of stuff is definitely, I get it. I get some people have problems with that. To me, that's just a collection of letters. It's just a word. It's
not so much the cursing as it is the
The trauma.
The doll coming alive.
Yeah.
That's the part of it.
Then you just show them the documentary of like how it was made and everything. Like that's how I got past
I've done
all
that
of that
before.
with Wes. Is we watched Face Off, like not the Travolta film, but the television series. I mean, I showed him Face Off too. I mean, Nick Cage, buddy.
That's
neither here nor there. That's the other podcast. That's the Rage Cage cast that we cover all the Nicolas Cage movies.
Yeah, that's a
Maybe that's a Patreon show. Who knows?
yeah.
But
he's everywhere.
he is,
Yes.
and he's in a lot of good stuff. Anyway,
Yes.
like this movie's good, especially for being the beginning of a franchise. I think it's really strong because like if you hold it compared to like the first Friday the 13th is meh. The first Nightmare on Elm Street is all right. The first Halloween is. I mean, I think most people. I'll throw my credibility out the window if like how dare you. The first Halloween, I think a lot of people love it mostly because of the history. Like like if it weren't John Carpenter and stuff, I don't think it would be as loved and stuff. I mean, the remakes and stuff like that, like a lot of people like all that stuff, but like I don't think it's the strongest outing. Like the sequel, I think is better. But
it's about the time period that they were released in. I think that has more to do with it.
So but all that being said, like Child's Play comes out, it's definitely like it is what it is. Like it's a good first outing, I think. Where Freddy, the more the films go on, the better they get and stuff like that. Child's Play, it's peaks and valleys.
Yeah. But
I think it's a solid start. So. Brian, thank you for the suggestion. You helped Tasha work through some trauma.
Yes.
I think she's eternally grateful for that. She's no longer going to have to run in terror every time she walks into a Spirit Halloween and sees a small red-haired mannequin.
Child.
But, all right, it's homework time. Well, before homework, is there anything that you girls want to champion?
I'm sure I
started watching season 4 of Blown Away on Netflix now that I have Netflix back.
What the fuck
I
is
love that
Blown
show.
Away?
I love it.
Is that the glass blowing show?
The glass blowing show.
Oh, so it's not the prostitute competition?
No, oh my God. No, sorry. That makes you sad. I know.
No. Okay, go on.
Yeah, so they do different competitions every week, and it's one of my favorite competition reality shows. So started that up.
Blown Away. Okay. What you got, Steph?
Well, I guess 2 things. I watched. This is old, so this is just new to me because I haven't seen it yet, or hadn't seen it yet. What was that movie we watched, honey?
What?
Must have been really good.
It was.
What the fuck did we watch?
The Bruce Willis movie we watched.
You watched a Bruce Willis film? I know. Death Becomes Her.
Death Becomes Her. That's it.
Oh, that is a good movie.
Yeah, we watched Death Becomes Her. I'm a huge Goldie Hawn fan, and I had never seen it. And I like Meryl Streep, but I did not I knew kind of what it was going in. And I think, was it Noelle that watched it with us? Mm-hmm. But yeah, we watched it this week, and I really liked it. It's cheesy too. It's very campy.
Super campy.
Yeah, but I like that kind of stuff. So it worked really well. It worked well for me. And I thought Goldie Hawn is just top tier. I just love her so much. So that was so good. I really liked the movie a lot. And I don't think I've ever seen Bruce Willis playing a character like that ever. So that was good.
Spineless.
I know. And he's balding and he's oh wait, it was just crazy. And I obviously that movie's weird, but it was good. I liked it. It was very 80s-esque, but I liked it. It was good. And then I read a book this week. No tentacles. Sorry, guys. But it's a vampire. I know.
Boo, no tentacles. Boo.
Yeah. So this book is called Your Coffin or Mine, and it's about a woman who falls in love with a vampire. And it's actually a kind of a sweet romance. I did not expect that going in. It's definitely this guy, they have this back and forth in the beginning of it. And it's the first book from this author, at least under this pen name. I'm assuming she has another one considering how it's written. But the cover's really cute and it's cartoony, and I really liked it. It was cute, and there's other characters like Frankenstein's in it, and we have a werewolf in it,
and we have a Jekyll and Hyde. So like I think the whole series is eventually going to be like each of them getting their love stories, which I really appreciated about it. It was written really well. And I'm reading some other books. I think this one I'm reading right now is about a spider, I think. But I'm getting weird stuff now. Like
because all the tentacles weren't weird. None of that was
spiders. Weird. I've never read a spider one yet, so this is going to be interesting. I read a snake one. Now we're on to spiders. So yeah, that's what we're doing. So it was called Your Coffin or Mine, and I liked it. It was 4-star. wasn't a 5, but it was good. So that's what.
My championing is, I'm just going to cover one. The band Mutilation Barbecue put out their new album.
Yep, Mutilation Barbecue. Okay.
Love it.
From Ohio. Yeah. Death metal
cool.
boys from Ohio.
Cool.
Their new album Amalgamations of Gore came out.
That's a name too.
Fuck yeah. And they've with song titles such as Hive Mind Homicide, Abortion Ambulance, and Carcass Compost, Trampled Under 18 Wheels. Yeah, it's fucking great.
What the fuck?
Not my jam.
No.
That's cool.
But if you like the feel of like our intro and outro and stuff like that, and you're like that's pretty dope, check them out. They're fucking great. The new album, literally as of recording, came out yesterday. So it is brand fucking new. I've been waiting for it to come out, and their guitarist posted about it, and I was like, sweet, I'm good on that. So I was jamming.
Congratulations to who? What's their name again?
Mutilation Barbecue.
Mutilation Barbecue, Ohio's death metal scene.
Fuck yeah. Making Ohio boys proud.
That's right. That's hilarious.
But yeah, so that's what I'm championing. That's what actually, if you remember at all this morning, Steph, when you walked out into the living room and I was hanging out with the dogs and there was music playing, that's what I was listening to.
Oh, okay.
9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning, fucking just death metal. But
the death metals in our house or in the car, so
all the time.
I know. So yeah,
it's either that or like Incubus.
I know.
Like, it just kind of sways. I'm like, I'm going to listen to like Cattle Decapitation, and now I'm going to listen to some Amigo the Devil. You know, like, you got to have a little bit of both.
Balance.
Yeah.
So, all right, it is homework time.
Oh no, I'm nervous because I don't think I know what we're watching.
Oh well, I just actually posted up the schedule for the month. So it's not in order. It's just these are the movies that are coming to us this month. So, but we are going to be covering The Autopsy of Jane Doe.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So, Steph, you actually are familiar with this director because we just watched a film by, I can't remember his name off the top of my head because I haven't done all the research yet, but same director that did The Voyage of the Demeter.
Oh, well,
the last Voyage of the Demeter, rather.
I hope it's faster and smoother.
I have seen this movie multiple times.
Okay. I know Kylie fucking loves that movie. She thinks it's amazing.
This is a good movie. That's all I'm going to say. Like,
yeah, I knew she's been getting on me for years to watch it, kind of like she was with The Witch. You guys were right about that one. So she has her and I realistically with most things other than like I haven't watched the Conjuring universe because I've never seen any of those, but like she and I have very similar taste in movies. So I would say that if she really likes it, I'm probably really good too. So
that's coming later this month as well, The Conjuring. So
yeah, she likes that stuff too. So.
If you haven't seen the post or whatever, that will be coming this month as well.
Yep.
So
I saw the post.
Yep.
Okay, I did not.
Oh my God.
I never pay attention to shit. I'm so busy working all the time. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm too busy not working, doing posts.
You are working too. You're doing different things, but I'm in my own little world of creativity over here. So,
but I'm just gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna put my chips down and bet.
Okay.
I think this is going to be a widely liked film by the group. I really do. I do really think.
I don't know. Tasha's usually one of us is you're either the outlier or it's me and Tasha.
I will be blown the fuck away. I'm gonna guess it right now. Hear me now, listeners.
Okay, we're listening.
I'm a guess at the very minimum. Tasha's gonna give it a 7.
Okay.
Do you want to hear something?
What's that?
I've seen it before, and I fell asleep about halfway through.
Oh my God, that's not a good thing.
And I haven't gone back to finish it.
Oh shit.
Oh well, so you don't know everything.
There's that.
Then.
You don't know everything.
Fuck you, Tasha.
But it was a fall asleep by Tasha moment. So.
Okay.
You fell asleep to fucking damn near every movie. Well, except for
No,
Child's Play.
she's been
You've been
doing
good this
good.
year. You've been
She has been
20,
really
I think
good
I've
this
fallen
year.
asleep
Twice.
Twice.
I think so. Definitely Silent Hill.
I didn't fall asleep.
No,
I
she
just
just
shut
Oh,
it
you
off.
just shut
Yeah,
it
she just
off.
had to
Okay,
rent it
so-
twice.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought she fell asleep. Okay,
Yeah,
so
just
yeah,
spend
I
maybe
shut it
just
off
one.
because I had other things to do.
You're like,
so I
fuck
just-
this
like
movie.
watch
This
paint
movie is
dry.
shitty. That's great. I feel that way sometimes too. When we
Yeah,
watched The
that's-
Voyage of the Demeter, I was like, I can't believe I'm watching this movie. Like
I
this
thought it was
movie,
alright.
it was.
It wasn't the
a-
greatest thing ever.
No,
but
it was too
that's
slow.
also the studio. Like whatever.
Yeah.
We're not going.
Yeah.
We're not going.
I know we're not doing that yet.
But, the director of Voyage of the last Voyage of the Demeter, he did Autopsy of Jane Doe, which I
Okay.
like, and then he also did another movie called Troll Hunter, which is fucking
would you like to?
awesome. Super cool. It's like a found
Okay.
footage
Heard of
film about people following a guy that works for like the government in like Norway, I think it is, that
Okay.
like deals with the trolls, and it's
Cool.
it's really cool. It's like
Okay.
it's dope. But
Okay. Well, we're gonna watch it and then we'll see. How
Yep, that's
I
our
feel about
homework.
it. And Tasha will.
I still think she stays awake, gets through the whole film and everything. I'm still holding at it. I think
He's
she's gonna get
Remember this, Tasha, when you're watching this. Nick's like, Tasha's gonna get this 7.
7. I think it's a 7 for you.
See, now there's this part of me as your little sister that goes, Nick thinks
No.
I'm going to give it a 7, so I'm
I'm
totally
definitely
not
not.
going
I
to
know.
give it a 7.
If
Yeah.
you walk in here and you're like, it's a 2, I'll be like, you're fucking up. You are just fucking up right now.
There's the likelihood of her
realistically-
liking this less than what she just watched this week is probably slim to none. So
Yeah,
that's true.
because I go through my head, like, not to give anything away about the story or anything. The actors in this movie, the fucking acting's really good. I understand it is a slow movie in the sense, like, I understand that from like falling asleep, but I think the narrative of it as you get through it, and it's not super long. I think it's like an hour 40, somewhere in
Okay.
that. I don't think it's like a 2-hour movie.
Okay.
I think if you get yourself a nice cup of coffee and everything,
You're funny.
I know.
Don't-
She's
don't
already told
cover-
us this doesn't
just,
work.
Just stand up the whole time
Exactly.
you're watching it.
yeah, stand up, bright lights on.
Yeah,
Be good to go.
put it on, get on the treadmill, and just kind of walk while you're watching it. Because like you falling asleep to the movie is it's not a fault of the movie. You just can't sit down and watch a movie without falling asleep because you
Yeah.
are 10 times narcoleptic. We get that.
Yeah. Well, like I really am just hoping to get my hands on another movie that we watched that I genuinely just love. Like it's been a while. Like I've liked what we've watched. I haven't hated anything, like hated it. I just didn't necessarily love it. So I am looking forward to possibly loving some more movies coming
And I'm
in
not
the
trying
future.
to oversell it. It's just one of those
I
things
know.
like,
I know that.
I think you girls will like this movie. Like because I'm basing my thought on the score on Tasha.
Yeah.
Or what, like how lenient and stuff I am with my scoring.
Yeah.
So like I'm like, oh, 7's a good movie, like, and same with
7
you. Like,
is technically like a really
I
good
think
movie.
I would be surprised if both of you rated it less than a 7. That's
Okay.
how I look at this.
Okay.
By no means am I saying that like this is a 10 out of 10. It's just like I think that this is a film that you girls will like.
So while we're just talking here, give me 3 horror movies that you would give a 10 out of a 10.
The Thing,
Did you give it a 10? Oh yeah, I think you might have.
Evil
And
Dead
I think
2.
I don't think you gave that a 10 out of 10.
I did.
no?
I gave
Did you?
that was our first 10 out of 10.
Okay.
Look back here real quick.
I know the
You girls
Reanimator
talk
you
for a
gave.
second.
The Reanimator you gave
I gave
really
it an
high.
8. I gave it an 8.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of good parts about that, but it's also slow in a lot of parts and stuff. But
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. 10 out of 10. I feel like I'm on the spot right now. There's some other movies. There's another movie that we're going to be covering this month that could possibly be in that territory. I just haven't watched it in a while.
Okay. Yeah, because
But-
like I can't think of any horror movie that I would give a 10 out of 10. But like I've given them some really
that's-
high fucking marks.
But
But
that's the thing. It's like I'm only scoring my movies. Like I understand you guys don't. I'm only scoring mine against horror films. A 10 out of 10 horror film doesn't necessarily mean it's a 10 out of 10 film. It's just as a horror film, that's a fucking 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
I
get that.
So that's kind of like I'm not going to compare The Thing to The Departed. Like The Departed to me is a perfect film. Like legitimately perfect film.
Yeah.
But like the thing, I love that movie, and my love of horror makes it even more. So
Yeah.
But
yeah, because like for me, most of my 10 out of 10s would be like fantasy films.
Yeah,
so like that's the reason why I was wondering.
So, but okay. Last time, homework. If you just dropped in here at the end or whatever, we're gonna watch The Autopsy of Jane Doe.
Yep.
I believe it's on some streaming services. Nothing off the top of my head. Tasha, do you got anything?
It's on Hulu, Tubi, Netflix, and AMC Plus.
Cool.
Oh, so we got all that stuff.
Yep, we've got it on Blu-ray, so hopefully going to check out some special features on it and everything. Get to learn some little things. I think was it Emil Hirsch is in it, and Brian Cox, I think, is the other guy.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm excited for next week. So for Pot of the Dead, I am Nicholas.
I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Tasha.
Come back and listen to us, or else.